Are you here to kill me?
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Underground Audience Secrets. And today we are going to talk about the goat sacrifice in the season 2 finale, what it means, and what it means to Lumen Industries. So we're going to get right into what that means today on the video. So before we jump into that, just make sure you guys like and subscribe. It helps out the channel so that I can produce more of these videos and we all can discuss in the comment and enjoy these shows. So let's jump right into the first part of this video. Again, we're going to focus on the scenes of goat sacrifice in season 2 finale, Cold Harbor. So at about the 40-minute mark or so of this episode, we see Mr. Drummond burst into what looks to be a hidden room on a severed floor, and he looks to be preparing that room to what we later find out will be the goat sacrifice room, for lack of a better word. And he is waiting on the mammalian's nurturable member to bring him the baby goat. So we see her actually bring the goat down the hallway, and we see her set it in front of the table to Mr. Drummond. Now, one of the first things that Mr. Drummond asks is, has it verve? And then he asks another question, has it wiles? And wiles is one of the 9 core principles at Lumen. So, of course, that's a question that he asks. Now, verve means, does it have fervor? Is it full of enthusiasm and full of life, for a better word? And then wiles is also very similar concept, but it's a core principle of Lumen. Now, I'm going to jump into what I think that actually means. What I think it's actually uh, a symbol for. Now, if we compare this to a biblical reference, we can go back and look at where goats or lambs were sacrificed in the Bible. And one of the things that will require for those types of sacrifices, especially back in the Old Testament in Christianity, is the lamb shall be without blemish. So, in other words, it needs to be a lamb that's pure, um, which would be similar to, does it have verve or wiles, when Mr. Drummond says that. And that's important. So you see that there's a whole department dedicated to making these lambs either pure or having the ability to be chosen to be sacrificed. But one of the things we'd have to ask is, so why would they do that? What's the purpose of the actual sacrifice? Now, we know that it's some type of sacrifice to Kier because we hear Mr. Drummond give us more evidence in this scene. And again, I believe the sacrifice to Kier is supposed to be symbolic of when the goats are being sacrificed to God in Christianity. But in Christianity, it's due to sin. So because you have sinned or lived in a sinful way, you need a pure lamb sacrifice in order to serve up to God. But in Lumen, there is a different reason for sacrifice, and Mr. Drummond hints at it here. And he tells her this beast will be entombed with a cherished woman whose spirit it must guide to Kier's door. And then he asks, is it up to the task? But again, why is this sacrifice needed to Kier? And then why was it privately performed? Because normally sacrifices like that, a lot of times are performed publicly. There are instances where it's performed privately as well. But why? Mr. Drummond gives us another hint here when he says, we commit this animal to Kier and his eternal war against pain. So right there, it gives us more evidence into what is the actual reason for these sacrifices. So they believe that by somehow sacrificing these pure lambs, as much like in a cult, or even maybe religious extremism, that's going to be a way to eliminate pain out of the world. Now, they believe that they want to eliminate pain, and maybe ether was the original way that they thought they were going to be able to do that. But now, because of the severance chip and Cold Harbor, they believe they've found a way to do that. But remember in the quote, it says the beast will be in tune with a cherished woman whose spirit it must guide to Kir's door. So there has to be a human involved along with this lamb in order for it to be a sacrifice in Lumen's eyes. So again, it seems very cultish and reeks of religious extremism. But this is the whole reason behind the goat sacrifice. Now a lot of earlier videos, even I speculated that there may have been a more complex reason, but the obvious reason here turned out to be the correct reason, which was a goat and lambs that were used for sacrifice, which has been very common over the last couple thousand years. And I believe the whole point of this is for the writers to drive home that Lumen is not only a corporate entity, but they are a cult, or you could even argue an extremist religious group who just happens to be a corporation. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comments in terms of this entire scene of the goat sacrifice and the whole struggle behind the decision that they have to make whether or not she's going to shoot the goat or the goat is going to actually be saved in the moment. And let me know also if you think there's a different reason for this sacrifice outside of the things that I just outlined in this video. I'm curious to hear you all's thoughts. And again, I wanted to do this video to specifically pinpoint this moment in the season 2 finale. I look forward to hearing what you all have to say in regards to this. It's been Underground Audience Secrets, and we'll catch you on the next video. Take care.